Hi BookTube, it's Gina. I've been watching so many fun videos recently of people talking about their favorite reads of 2025, their least favorite reads of 2025, and I wanted to hop on here and share some thoughts on my 2025 reading. So I will be sharing some books, and I thought what I would do, since my 2025 reading was quite unusual for me, not typical. I did a ton of rereading, and I really did a lot of comfort read. Now, I always love to read comfort books and cozy books, but I did it to the exclusion of almost everything else last year. And subsequently, I don't really have a top 10 list. When I went through my 2025 reads, I only had five-star reads last year of new books, of books that I had not read before. Now, I had a ton of rereads that I want to talk about, but I only had five-star books, and I want to share those with you. And so I had a ton of 3-star, 4-star reads, which for me, when I'm reading a cozy book or comfort read, 3 and 4-star books they're great. They're fun, they're fine. They just don't rise to that level of, 5-star standouts. So I do want to talk about my 5 favorite, and I only have 4 because 2 of them I read on my Kindle. 3 because 2 of them I read on my Kindle from the library. But I want to talk about some of my rereads last year, because rereads were a giant part of my reads last year. So let's start with that. And while I'm getting ready for this, let me just say I got a new phone. I got an iPhone 17, and it is gorgeous. It's orange. I was using an iPhone 11, and it was really on its last leg. The case was falling apart, and it was not really, it wasn't good. So we went to just a look at new phones, and of course, I ended up buying one. So I'm going to try not to get distracted. There's so many bells and whistles that I have not even played with or looked at yet, and I probably won't even pay attention to most of them, but the buttons look a little bit different, and I'm just kind of like, ooh, what's that? What's that? So anyway, hopefully this looks okay. Hopefully the sound is okay. It's an experiment. So my rereads for last year. So the reason I wanted to talk to you about rereads is because I did a ton of rereading. Let's see, this was, it was a ton. And these are so I've got 5 favorite rereads, but 1, 2, 3 of them are series. So let's just go ahead and jump in with this, because I had so much fun rereading last year. I reread the entire series of the Cat Who Mysteries. 29 books by Lillian Braun. This is The Cat Who Ate Danish Modern. I read these on my Kindle, and actually a few of them I listened to on audio. My library had a few of them. I was driving a lot last year, much more than I normally do, and I really just wanted to listen to something super cozy and relaxing while I was in my car, because it was a little bit stressful. And so I found a couple of these at the library on audio, listened to them out of order, and then they only had maybe 5 of them on audio. And so once I finished listening to that 5, and I've read all of them before, so it was nothing new. They're all rereads, all 29 of them. But once I listened to the 5 on audio, I decided I just had to start over at the beginning and read them all in order. I didn't reread the 5 I had listened to on audio. These first 3 are 3 of my favorites. These first 3 before Quillerin gets up to Mooseville or Mooseville County. Pickaxe is the name of the town. And these 3, he's down below in a big city. He's struggling. He's a kind of on the outs alcoholic reporter newspaper man who's trying to figure out his life. He's recently divorced. He moves, I think in every book, he moves to a new place. He's living all over the place. In one of them, he lives in a kind of a rooming house / apartment in Junkville. Who would want to live in Junkville? All antique stores and junk stores and art stores. I'm like, oh my gosh, that sounds wonderful. So anyway, I reread all 29 of the Cat Who mysteries. These are almost all, I would say, 3-star reads for me. They're not great books, but they're decently written. They're a lot of fun. The cats, even though they're called Cat Who, the cats play a significant role in that they are his best friends, the two cats. But when the cats don't solve any mysteries, they push maybe a book off of a shelf that has a clue in it. But the cats are fairly. It's not like they're standing up and talking to him or anything out of the ordinary like that. It's just they're a lot of fun. I really love these books, and you've seen me talk about all these already because I did talk to you, I think, about them as I was going, but this one will come as no surprise to anybody. I reread The Lord of the Rings. I did not reread The Hobbit along with it, but I did read The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King. And these are 3 of my favorite books of all time. I read them as a kid in probably 5th or 6th grade and have loved them ever since. I love this cover. I found these just at a Half Price Books or a used bookstore for $1, and I just love these. I have a bunch. I have this edition in the 3. I have the other ones, kind of brown covers in the 3. I love these books. I don't need to talk about them because you all have heard of them. But these are very comforting to me. I know they're not necessarily cozy, but they do have some cozy elements because hobbits are very cozy people. They love to eat. They love to sit around and talk and visit, smoke their pipes and have a good meal and drink beer. And they're wonderful. Excuse me. Wonderful. Love these books. Pretty much, I don't reread them every year, but I reread them frequently. Next, and you guys have also heard me waxing poetic about these books repeatedly because I loved these books. This is called, the series is called The Art History Mysteries by Iain Pears. Iain Pears also wrote Arcadia. He wrote Instance of the Finger Post. And back in the 90s, he wrote these art history mysteries, which are all one's set in LA, but the others are all set in Italy. And they are the art history squad who is solving art thefts. There's usually a murder, not always. Is there always a murder? There might always be a murder. There are 7 books in this series. I reread all 7. I actually read these. I bought these and I read them all in this edition. I have a couple of them in hardcover also. I bought a duplicate of one just because I wasn't paying attention and I forgot I already owned one. But these are not available on Kindle from what I can tell. So I bought all of them. I read all of them quickly because I love them. They are just very fun, quick, easy reads. There's a little romance in here, of course. A couple romances, and they're just a lot of fun. If you love Italy, if you love art history, they're a little far-fetched, but they are really, really fun. Definitely recommend. This is the Raphael Affair. It's the Raphael Affair, the Titian Committee, Giotto's Hand. They all, of course, have kind of punny titles that include some kind of art reference. So really, really fun books. And then next, both of these actually I listened to on audio during my commutes last year. I did a listen to The Secret Garden. I've got this beautiful edition of it by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Let's see, is this a Barnes & Noble edition? Yes, this is a Barnes & Noble edition with these beautiful illustrations. And I love this book. I find it very cozy, very comforting. This edition is beautiful, but I did listen to this one because my library had it. At one point, I was just scrolling through my audiobooks at the library, trying to find some cozy, relaxing ones I could listen to. And I stumbled across this one and went, oh, that's a perfect cozy reread. And then I also listened to this one on audio, Winter Solstice by Rosamunde Pilcher. I read this back in March of last year. And this I've read numerous times. I vacillate in my favorite Rosamunde Pilcher book, but this one is so cozy. It's got cozy wintry scenes. It's got a really great Christmas scenes in it. So if you're looking for something with some cozy Christmas scenes, there are some. It starts out with the death of a child, so it doesn't, not all flowers and happiness, but it's just a very cozy book. I love Rosamunde Pilcher's writing style, very descriptive. And what I love, she talks about the food they're eating, the scenery, the house. It's my favorite. So those are the favorite books that I reread last year. And then the books that I had read for the first time, I also talked about most of these, so none of them will come as a surprise to you. 2 of them I read on my Kindle, so I'm just going to remind myself. Let's see. Those were Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie, which I can't believe I don't actually own a copy of that one. I do need to organize my Agatha Christie collection and do some kind of checklist of the ones I have and the ones I don't have, because I end up with 3 duplicates because I find them for super cheap at a thrift store or something, and then ones that I'm missing. So I need to organize those. Maybe I'll do a video of that at some point this year. But I really enjoyed Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie. And I might have read that. If I did read it, I had no recollection of it, and I haven't read it in the last 5 or 6 years. So, but this is about a young newly married couple. And the wife is looking for a house for them to move into, and she finds this house and she's just immediately drawn to it. She loves it. She doesn't know why, and then she starts having all of these memories of the house, and we've got to figure out why she has memories of the house and why she remembers seeing a dead person in the house. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. The next one that I don't also have a copy, and I would like to get a copy of this one, is called Bleeding Hearts by Jane Haddam. This is a Gregor Demarkian mystery. This is a long series. This is book number 11. These are... Gregor Demarkian is a ex-police officer who is retired. His wife has died. He lives in a remodeled apartment, a large apartment in Philadelphia, in the Armenian section of town, and he's got great neighbors. This book I loved a lot because it's set in their apartment complex in town. And so you get a lot of the neighbors, you get a lot of the people around him, which I absolutely loved. A lot of the other books are set in one set on a boat, which was not my favorite. One is set in on an island where a famous actress is having a birthday party, typical. So this one I really loved because it was set in their homes, and you guys know how I love a good cozy home setting. So that was good, and it's a really great series. It's a little more hard-boiled than cozy, I would say, but it's not graphic, and they're a lot of fun. Some religious overtones, like there's a lot about there's a murder in a Catholic church. There's a murder with nuns, and it's fun. They're a lot of fun, a really fun series. Okay, and then the last three that I have. Let's start with Betty Neels. So this is there's two books in here. This is a Christmas romance. And the one my favorite of these that I read last year was The Mistletoe Kiss. Very sweet romance. No anxiety, very little anxiety in it. Some of these romances, there's so much tension. Mistletoe Kiss was my favorite of the three of hers that I read over Christmas, and I just absolutely adored it. So if you like a very low stakes, super sweet, old-fashioned. So Betty Neels, I think because she was a little older, even though this is written in 2019, it really felt like it was written in like 1945 or something to me. They're very old-fashioned. I mean, the young woman, and I don't know why I put that in air quotes. She was working at a switchboard in a hospital. But she was living with her parents, who had, for a variety of reasons, they had to leave, and they were very concerned about leaving her in the house by herself. It just felt very old-fashioned, which I like about Betty Neels. So Mistletoe Kiss was my favorite of hers that I read last year. And then this is the only nonfiction on the list. This is Having People Over by Chelsea Fagan. Look at that. This is a book all about why community is so important. Primarily, her audience is younger people than I, but which I actually found very interesting. Why younger people aren't having people over, what the barriers are for them. Which was very interesting, and I was going to say a back subtext to this book, but it's very in the forefront. If you've ever seen Chelsea Fagan's videos, she runs the Financial Diet. She is very outspoken about politics, about community, about relationships, which I really love. And in addition to being all about community, this just has great stuff in it about having people over, about what to cook, about relaxing and enjoying it. It's got great, beautiful illustrations. It's also got really pretty photos. She's got the cutest apartment in New York City. And I think some of the pictures in here are of her apartment. Oh my gosh, they're everywhere. Oh, here's one. Just a setting of like, the dip. I actually made this dip Friday for some people I had over. Dip, crackers, drinks. So I love this book. If you like books about home, about dining, about having people over, you will love this. That's a really pretty illustration about just a table setting. So this is a wonderful book. I absolutely loved it. I will revisit it over and over again because I absolutely loved it. And then my favorite, I loved this book. This is The Homemaker by Dorothy Canfield Fisher. This is my beautiful Persephone edition that I bought at one of the bookstores in town is now carrying Persephone's. I had to pay the tariffs, so it was shockingly expensive. So I will not be buying a ton of these because they're very expensive. I think, what is this? It's 17 euros. But it ended up being quite a bit more than that by the time it was transferred to dollars, and then there was taxes, and then it was crazy. But I'm so glad I bought this because it's beautiful. I love Persephone, and I absolutely adored this book about a married couple with 3 small children who the wife is a traditional stay-at-home wife. And this was written back in the, let's see, 1924. 1924, set in New England, I think Vermont. Was it set in Vermont? I know Dorothy Canfield Pilcher was from Vermont. Can't remember if it was set in Vermont or not. But in a sort of bustling but small city. And so traditional stay-at-home mother who was just full of anxiety, very stressed out about making sure everything was perfect, very tidy, had to be constantly cleaning, had to make sure her children were perfect, never a hair out of place, never said the wrong thing. And so everybody in the family was just very stressed out. The father went out to work, hated it, was very stressed out. And then due to a variety of circumstances, their roles get switched. And the father comes home, starts taking care of the children. There's a really funny scene where the father and the daughter are trying to figure out how to make eggs, and they don't know how to crack an egg. They don't know, first they smush it and then they try to peel the shell off. And she's such a great writer. She just gets right into the interiority of the characters without saying, this is how the characters are feeling. She just gets in there and shows you exactly how they're feeling. The mother goes out to work and everyone in the family just thrives. And then are they going to be able to maintain it? Because situations change, and they know that in 1924, society is not going to accept, in their minds, their society is not going to accept a working mother and a stay-at-home father. And it is so beautifully written. I just absolutely loved it. I thought it was going to be very anxiety-provoking because the beginning, when everyone's so tense, it was very tense. But then everybody just blossoms, and it's just beautiful. I absolutely love this book. I will be rereading this one because I absolutely loved it. So this is a longer video than normal for me. I guess sort of ramble on a little bit. I hope you're doing well. Let me know what your favorite reads were of 2025. And yeah, what you're reading now. I hope you're having a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.